Hello and welcome everyone to Teslanomics Live. I am your host Ben Sullins, and this is the show where we break down the biggest Tesla news from the week that has passed, and we do it live because, well, things change very rapidly. So, what we're going to talk about today, the biggest story is about all of the Tesla killers, and I have a couple articles here to share. We'll run through these, and towards the end, we'll do a Q&A. The Q&A happens on Crowdcast, which is a platform similar to this, but has some better features for question and answer and kind of more intimate reactions and things like that. So if you want to be a part of Crowdcast in the future and get invited to it, make sure to go get on our email list at teslanomics.co/join. And every Monday you'll get a little invite. And then I think I limit it to about 100 people right now, just to keep it small. So, the first 100 people or so jump in there, and it surprisingly fills up pretty quick. So without further ado, let's just get right into the first story here. The first one that I'm going to talk about is about the new Porsche E concept, the Mission E they call it. And this is trying to compete with Tesla because, as they've stated, Porsche feels that they've stolen some of their customers in the luxury space. And I'm excited about this. Apparently, this car is going to have 3 different powertrain options, or 3 different performance options in terms of how much horsepower. And really, we talk about kilowatts, not horsepower anymore. And it's exciting to see companies like Porsche get involved here. I really want to see what this looks like, what all the specs are when it finally gets unveiled. Everything looks super high-tech and futuristic right now, which is, of course, what drew me to Tesla in the first place. And so this is an exciting time, I think. So the big thing I want to talk about regarding this isn't so much about the car itself. This is just one of a few, but that we're confusing things if we think that this is a bad thing. A lot of people, even the notion of what people call a Tesla killer, I think is kind of dumb, because when you think about it, the goal is to electrify our transportation systems. And so the more companies making beautiful, really well done electric cars are going to help that. So if any of you guys out there are hardcore Tesla fans like I am, don't think of any of these as a bad thing. Think of it that when people say a Tesla killer, think of that more as like a chuckle, like something that's a joke that maybe some media people are using to get attention and all that. I don't think there's really any animosity between these brands. I mean, if you think about it big picture. So the Porsche Mission E is the first one, and I think it's going to be exciting. I hope to get to drive one day. And if anyone from Porsche is listening, hit me up. I'd love to check it out. So that's the first one. The other one in the news right now is the Jaguar I-Pace, and here in America we say Jaguar, but in any regard, this is an SUV that is more comparable to a Model X. And this one here is reported to have 400 horsepower compared to the 523 horsepower of the Model X, and 516 pound-feet of torque compared to the 713 pound-feet of torque from the Model X. Now, the one thing I'm disappointed with is the range so far. We don't have the exact details, but the Model X can go almost 300 miles on a charge, and the Jaguar I-Pace, it doesn't sound like it's going to be able to compete with that. That kind of sucks. Also, the battery isn't as big, which maybe will help with the price a little bit, and it's a bit slower on the 0 to 60 time. These are the specs here, and this is actually on Jaguar's website here. The weird thing about this, when I see this, is that they recently did a video where they do a drag race against the Model X, and the Jaguar wins both times. So I'm a little confused how that's possible. I'll play you a little bit of the video here. The one thing I don't like about this is that this is obviously a professional video done by an agency trying to highlight Jaguar and their ability to beat a Tesla. I want to see some real people do this, not this kind of a show that they put on here. Because, well, first off, if it lost, I don't think they would have shown it. So who knows what they did? We've already seen other TV shows fake some of the performance of a Tesla and then get sued as a result. And so I'm not sure that there's not more going on here, as to what's really going on, why it lost. So I'm curious, and I actually want to see this. I'd love to see my friend Brooks, who has a great YouTube channel called Drag Times, who actually just hit 100,000 subscribers. Congratulations, Brooks. I would love to see him do this, right, in a real world setting, not in this overly produced commercial environment that they created for this here. So there's that. But in any event, again, I'm excited about this. Even if it's true, even if this video wasn't faked and these results are real, then great. That means that it'll push Tesla to be even better. And this actually begs another question. One that I think a lot of us are asking, and it's about whether or not Tesla is planning something big right now with a refresh of these cars. So if you go to Tesla.com, and I haven't tried this yet, but all of the orders and everything that have been done lately are being pushed back until June. You can even see that it says, when you go to build it, it's available in 1 to 2 months. And so that to me makes me think that they may be planning something big. So there's two things that come to mind with this. One is they are doing a refresh. And hopefully that will lead to more battery capacity. I don't believe that they're going to be using the 2170 cells, which are the ones that are in the Model 3 because of the recent statements by Elon and JB on the earnings call. But I think the interior could use a little bit of an update, and maybe they found a way to pack in some more batteries, a double layer here or there. I don't know, take away some frunk space, take away the frunk entirely, whatever the case may be. So all of them right now are being pushed out till June, which could be for that, or it could be for the tax credit purposes, basically deferring a month of deliveries to give them a little bit of buffer. So that way, when they hit the 200,000th car delivered here in the US, that will be in Q3, in which case it would actually, benefit a lot of Model 3 owners, because hopefully by then the Model 3 delivery ramp is continuing to rise, and we're just delivering, or they're just producing thousands and thousands of cars every week. So a lot of stuff going on here, but the whole notion of these new Tesla killers, I think, gives me a little bit of a chuckle. I think it's great that other companies are doing it. And Jaguar and Porsche are absolutely great brands that make fantastic vehicles. Another one in the news related to this is this one here, Daimler, who is Mercedes, if you didn't know that, or Daimler is the parent company. They're actually bringing the Smart Car, which was a car that they had previously made under a different brand, and making it a part of their EQ line. The EQ is the Mercedes electric car line of vehicles that they're offering. And they're also adding some faster charging. I think this is exciting because it offers likely a very low-cost option, but one that, obviously, because it's Daimler and Mercedes, is going to be pretty high quality. So this is exciting. There were some quotes here about the CEO from Smart, Dr. Annette Winkler, made, and she said, "Smart is electric, innovative, intelligent, and totally unique." Or in 3 words each, Smart EQ 42, Smart EQ forfour. Fortwo and forfour. The Smart EQ fortwo, forfour, we are putting the first products from Mercedes-Benz Cars EQ family on urban roads and showing how much fun electric mobility can be. So here are some photos of it. I think it's really cool that they're making, what look to me like Mini Coopers almost, and they're making them smaller. That way they fit better in urban environments. I really think something like this, there is a very good market for it, because even the Tesla Model S obviously is a very large sedan, and a lot of people that live in more urban areas can't really handle having such a large vehicle. And here you see one that is smaller, that's better, that actually offers kind of that really tight, easy to get in and out of places thing. And, if they do it right, will be a ton of fun. So I think I'm excited about this. I really want to see more and more viable electric vehicles. This is obviously a great one from Mercedes here. So I'm excited to see these. I'd love to check one out. I hope that they come to the US sometime, and I get the opportunity to take them for a drive. So there's that. Next, I want to talk about some stuff that is going on with Tesla, and they have a new R&D plant in Greece. And Greece is sort of known for making great mechanical engineers and automotive engineers. I believe some of the higher up folks at Tesla are all from Greece. And so they're setting up. They're just announced that they're going to be setting up an R&D plant in Greece to work on some of their new cars and potentially some enhancements to the existing ones. So I think this is really exciting. And some of the folks from Greece actually said that they've personally emailed Musk and wanted to welcome him and to say that for the next 10 years, I will give at zero cost to his company my group's own industrial plant outside Corinth so that Greece can be on the front line of global innovation. So bravo to you guys in Greece. I think this is really cool, especially a country that I know has had some financial issues in the past half decade or so. And so if Tesla's coming there, that hopefully is a sign that there is definitely a reason to be there. One, obviously, is a lot of smart people, especially in this space. And hopefully that Greece will, this will kind of spur other companies to come to Greece and kind of use it as an innovation hub that, is still a part of the EU and all that. Because I know, obviously with Brexit, you can't put stuff there and still be counted as in the EU. So anyways, I think this is exciting. I think Tesla expanding into Greece is going to be good for them. It's going to be good for Greece. And maybe it will then give us some more news about other plants that Tesla is going to be opening elsewhere very soon. I'm very excited because, I have a Roadster coming and they currently, I don't believe, have a place to make it. Also the Semi, where are they going to make that? So I think we're going to hear some big news regarding plants and where Tesla is looking to manufacture things in the near future. So with that, I'll move on. And one thing that I wanted to talk about was this Model 3 tracker. And this is from the guys over at Bloomberg, just updating it here to have another look. This is Tom Randall and Dean Halford. Interestingly enough, they just updated it today. They're projecting, or they're counting 599 Model 3s per week. Now, that is much lower than what they had previously said at the beginning of the year, where they were at 1,000. And this is interesting because if this is right, then this is not good. There are two reasons this could be happening. Something's wrong, or maybe they're changing over the equipment to the new one, and that means they're going to be down, slightly until they can ramp back up. Or they're pushing things out for the tax credit, which again would be, I think, real exciting and probably a really good PR move. Probably not the best financial move. So there also could be the, I guess, third explanation that these guys aren't tracking it properly, and so there's that. So this is interesting, and I would say keep your eye on this, because this is one that I really think these guys are doing a great job here, and it saves me the time from having to do it myself. So take a look. I'll put a link here. This is the Tesla Model 3 tracker. Every week or so, I just have a look and kind of see. But so far, according to their analysis here, you're looking at about 9,000 total Model 3s and about 600 per week. But the 600 per week is the scary number here. So yeah, we'll pay attention as we go. That brings us to some Model 3 stuff going on. Now, I've mentioned this before. This is something that I definitely think all of you guys should take advantage of. If you go to teslanomics.co/M3Springs, you'll be redirected to this page here. And on this page, you're able to enter a giveaway for a set of the lowering springs from Unplugged Performance. If you've seen my Model 3, I lowered it in the moderate setting of 1.5 inches, where I still can clear speed bumps and most things very easily. Sometimes if I hit a dip too hard, I'll scrape a little bit. But here you can go and you can actually get a set of these. And the video I did on it, if you guys didn't see that, was pretty interesting because I collected data about the performance of the springs, and it showed that just on cruising on streets that they were actually softer than the factory ones. So really interesting. And if physics work how they usually do, this should even help with a little bit of range because you're closer to the ground. You should have a better drag coefficient. So anyways, totally free to you. You don't have to pay for anything. You just sign up for their newsletter. And then after that, you can refer other people. And for every person that signs up from you, you get another entry as well. So it kind of works that way. So unlike a typical giveaway where you're kind of disincentivized to tell people about it, this one, you can actually do it. You can actually share it and get more entries. So that's at teslanomics.co/M3Springs. I bring it up because there's only 7 days left, and there's 1,000 people. That's really not that many. So yeah, go check that out. Also, they have info there about the springs. They just put out a more scientific study about the dual rate and how that all works. I won't get into it. You guys can go check it out. That also brings up something I'm super excited about because it's been a long time coming. And this are shirts that we're making for Teslanomics. The first one I want to talk about here is the Free the Data shirt. So you can kind of see the design there, Free the Data with the icon, the T we have right in the middle of it. And then on the back, it's actually going to be a bit smaller than you see printed here. I just got some photos of the new samples, and we're just kind of finalizing all that before we start shipping them out. So they're $24.99 unless you get, I think the double XL is $29.99. So yeah, go check them out at teslanomics.co/shop. Pre-order, they'll be shipping here in a couple weeks. The other one is the superhero design, where you have just the T, just the logo on the front, and then on the back it has a little bit here where it says "Free the Data" in kind of a smaller font. So I don't know. I'm really thrilled on how these designs came out. I've got a bunch of orders already, but you know they'll be shipping here in the next couple weeks. So make sure to go pick them up at teslanomics.co/shop. All right. Lastly, in kind of funny, weird, awesome, this guy took an old Honda, I believe it's a Honda Civic, and kind of put it on top of a Tesla chassis and made what he's calling the Tez Londe. Brilliant. I love it. Here you go. Here's your moment of weird awesomeness. God, I seriously have watched this like 1,000 times. I just love stuff like this. I'll put a link to this video down there. This guy has a pretty cool channel where he builds stuff. It's called Jimmy Built, and he has a cool Instagram. Really fun stuff. I love seeing guys do cool, innovative things like this, especially when you're talking about converting over electric cars and those kind of things. So go check that out. Let me know what you guys think. All right, that brings us to the Q&A section, and here we go. We're going to try doing that like so. All right, so if you are on Crowdcast, make sure to go vote. Make sure to go ask questions. It looks like we have capped it out at 100 people, since 71 are watching right now. So hi guys, give you a second here to go vote on your favorite questions. Okay, and we'll start. Actually, let me just close that out and then go back in one more time. And we'll start with Martin. Martin asks, based on the data you've seen, do you think the frequency of reliability and build quality issues on Model 3s leaving the factory now are an improvement over the very first Model 3s? Yeah, I would have to say yes. And I'm saying that not because of what you're talking about with what we're seeing about people reporting these things, but because of how the process works. Now, if you saw the video I did where I had some issues with my Model 3 and I shared that, I actually was in contact with Tesla about this, and they shared some information with me. First off, that the Model 3s have the best scores that they've ever seen, but on top of that, how the process works. So they actually built specialized software for all problems related to the Model 3. That way, engineers get notified immediately of any problem out there, and often can even proactively reach out. That's what they did with me. And so what happens is sometimes those problems, they can solve them, and even within an hour have the manufacturing line updated so that future cars being built or cars being built at that very moment will no longer have them. So I think that's exciting. I think that, Tesla, really part of the secret sauce, besides their how they do the design, where the engineering and design teams work hand in hand, things like this, where they're able to integrate that feedback and improve the cars coming off the line literally within an hour. That is one of the secrets to their success, and how, basically the newest Model 3 made is going to be the highest quality, best one ever made. And then 5 minutes later, or however long it takes, when the next one comes off the line, that one is as well. So I think, they're getting better, and we're going to see just, by the time a lot of people get them, the mass market folks or the mass non-owners start getting them, which should be very soon. I think that I think that the quality is going to be a lot better, certainly than the very first ones, even better than mine and other folks that have the kind of early editions. Thanks for the question, Martin. Omar asks, what happened to that Model 3 production, just $5.99 per week? I don't know. I just noticed it earlier today, and that's why I brought it up. I hopefully, fingers crossed, it could be them installing the new automation equipment in the Gigafactory that they got from Germany. Hopefully that stuff arrived early and they're doing it now. And so in order to do that, they had to kind of, shut down some of the parts. I don't know. I don't know the details. It's all speculative. But hopefully it'll be one of those things where it dips down and then just skyrockets after that. So that'd be really good. Thanks for the comment, Omar. Vic asks, any updates on all-wheel drive being available in mid-2018, as some people are showing this, and I'm still showing late 2018? Yeah, Vic, I did ask Tesla about this. I haven't gotten an official response, but I have two reservations. Well, one, I already have the car. The other one is still there, but they show different times. So it's likely based on when you actually did it, and maybe if you're a current owner or not. So for me, my second one is showing late 2018 on the delivery estimator page, but on the configurator showing mid 2018. So there does seem to be some confusion here around this. Hopefully Tesla will answer my question out to them about this, and if so, of course, I'll share that with you guys. But hopefully some people start getting in mid 2018. I hope to get mine, because then that I would assume would be when we see the performance model, other interior options, etc. So stay tuned. Mel asks, it's been reported that in California will authorize the testing of autonomous vehicles with 2 months. Woohoo! I purchased full self-driving for my Model S75 6 months ago. Do you see anything happening soon with Tesla as a result of DMV decision? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm still very, in regards to this, I'm still very short on full self-driving capabilities. I think that we may start to see more things, and maybe that will be there, but certainly not true. Like, I think we're at level 2 autonomy right now. Maybe level 3 would be great if we could start seeing some stuff. And I assume that it'll still be a few years out. So yeah, I personally don't think it's going to happen that soon. But thanks for the question, Mel. And I mean, hopefully I'm wrong, and hopefully you get to do some cool stuff. I'll tell you what, if I could, the one thing, I don't need the car to drive itself. I'm happy driving it. It's fun to drive. If I could have it go park itself and then come retrieve me somewhere in an urban area, that would be fantastic. And there's a new thing we have that's just basically taken San Diego by storm that actually helps with this. I don't know if anyone out there else has seen this. There are these companies that have these electric scooters, and you just hop on them, and you scan it with your phone. It's 15 cents a minute or something like that. And you hop on it and you just zip around, and wherever you drop it, you just drop it right there. There's no like docking it in a station or any of that nonsense. You literally just, find one, hop on it, and go. And so that's something that may solve a lot of these kind of things as well. But more to come. Of course, as things come out, we'll be covering them here on the channel. So thanks for the question, Mel. Ed asks, when I get an email that my car will be soon ready, can I arrange pick it up from my factory or nearby? Yeah, you should be able to do that, I believe. For the Model 3, like when I got mine, they called me and, so there was some email back and forth. Then we had a phone call, and they asked me where I would like to pick it up. So at that time, you should be able to tell them where. So I told them San Diego, and of course, that's where I picked it up. But you should be able to tell them when it comes to be around that time. Yeah, thanks for the question, Ed, because they're all made at the same place, so it doesn't matter. John asks, did you set up an account with Tesla to charge your Model 3 at the Superchargers? How does that work? Do they charge your credit card or debit card on file? What did a typical charge cost at the Superchargers that you use? Do you get feedback on your phone on how much you were charged? Yeah, okay, so lots of questions here. I actually have a video coming out about that later this week. Yeah, you set up your credit card with them, and then it automatically charges you. It's not apparent in the app itself where that is, but on the website you can go find it. And in the car it tells you your most recent one, but nowhere else that I could find it shows anything. So it's pretty cheap though, and I have lots of details coming out about that later this week. So stay tuned. Mel asks, if tariffs are imposed on imports of aluminum and steel, what effect will it have on Tesla? Yeah, this is a great question. The thing about Tesla is, with the exception of I think the new Ford F-150 and maybe a couple other newer models. They're the only ones that make their cars out of aluminum. And I know that the Model 3 is made out of both aluminum and steel. But if you saw the tariffs on this, the aluminum one I think was 10% and the steel was 25%. And they were just threats as far as I knew. I don't think they're actual tariff. That would be, I think Tesla would be not that affected by it, I don't think, especially since if anything, it would hurt other automakers more because they don't use aluminum for their cars. So in any event, it's interesting for sure, and it's time to keep our eye on it. But at this point, it sounds just more like saber rattling than anything else, which you get from a guy like that. So thanks for the question, Mel. Donald asks, will there be any extra features if you purchase autonomous now? No. Know that it will be a while for a full autonomous, but there has to be a transition period. Yeah, nothing as of right now that I'm aware of you get from buying the full self-driving. It's the exact same as autopilot. Yes, of course, as new features come available, there will be some probably testing out there, and the full people that have purchased it will probably be the first ones to get it. But nothing, no reason as of now. And honestly, probably for 3 to 5 years, I wouldn't expect anything. So thanks for the question, Donald. Tom asks, when trying to get best possible mileage, are the tricks the same as the ICE vehicle? Slower speeds, a soft foot? Yeah, that's a good approach. So I don't know about how much more range you can expect. If you go check out the owner's manual for the Tesla Model 3, which you can find online, there's a whole section on getting the most out of it. And there is an app called that I love called Tez Lab with a Z. You can just go Google for that. And that actually, it's like Fitbit for your car, and it tracks efficiency and those kind of things. I mentioned them in a video I did recently. So I would check that out. Absolutely recommend that if you have a Tesla, because it's really interesting. I'm going to try to bring it up here. Really interesting to kind of show you how it works and just the efficiency, phantom drain, things like that. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, here we go. So, okay. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but it has like your, phantom drain, your efficiency, all of your trips. You get like little badges for whoever hits the Superchargers the most, or whoever travels the most distance without a charge, things like that. There's a section on it, but essentially what you're thinking about it is a good way to think about it. The slower you drive, and things like that definitely help. Thanks for the question, Tom. Matt asks, can you talk on to what aspect in general maintenance Model 3? Is this only through a service plan? How often you need to take in the car? Are there things you can need to do on your own? Yeah, so good questions about service related to Teslas. I've had my Model S for 2 years. I've had a couple issues that they had a mobile repair person come out and fix. And I've taken it in for the 2-year service myself. I paid for that. And that included basically everything. They do recommend an annual one, but even talking to a service guy, he basically said you don't have to do that. That's just to kind of check everything and make sure nothing's really malfunctioning or anything. And then the 2-year service one is when they change fluids and do those kind of things. So I don't think we've actually seen anything regarding the Model 3 service plans yet. But you can assume that they'll be close to probably the Model S ones, since a lot of the other pricing is. Could be wrong on that, but that seems to be the general consensus right now. So I would say don't plan really on anything for the first 2 years at all. Maybe a tire rotation, which you don't have to go to them for, things like that. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Matt. Tom asks, I placed my reservation for Model 3 last year for the premium large battery model. Whenever I log into my account page, Tesla has me as reserving all-wheel drive version. If I change it back to the 2-wheel drive version and save the change, it still has my reservation. I guess I would. I don't know if that really changes anything. Basically, what happens, I believe, is until you get invited to configure, it's all speculative. I don't think it matters whatsoever. Because even when you like mine, my second reservation, I had said I'm going to wait for the all-wheel drive. I'd click that. Then I still got the invite to configure, and I clicked hold my place again. And even if I log in right now, it'll let me configure the 2-wheel drive version. I don't think it matters that much. I think that was just kind of a a measuring stick for them to maybe internally see how many people they thought would wait. It doesn't appear, or it didn't appear to me, that doing that, which I had done for my second reservation, changed at all when I actually got the invite. So I wouldn't worry too much, but sure, yeah, reach out to them, see what they say. But it doesn't seem that it'll matter. Thanks for the question. Pure asks, Pure. Unlike the S or the X, navigation screen, it takes up 2/3 of the touch screen in the Model 3 and can't be resized or moved. Yep. I'm not thrilled by constantly viewing a nav screen when I know where I'm going 90% of the time. I'd prefer some options to customize the screen. Has this been an issue for you? Not really. I don't think it's a big deal. You do, so I guess for you it probably would be. But it would be cool to adjust it. I probably would change some things for sure. When I get to my S, I love how I have the two sections of the screen, and how I can change those things and go full screen nav and whatever I want to do. So yeah, and I'm sure it will be configurable later. This is the cheap Tesla, so you're not going to get all the bells and whistles, and so I think that that's to be expected. And yeah, if that bothers you that much, then it'll change for sure. But I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker for me. Hopefully, it's not for you. Thanks for the question. Steven asks, good morning, love your show. Hey, all right. Do they allow pickup of Model 3 since I live in Reno, Nevada, so I don't have to pay the destination charge? It would be very silly to have to do that when I live 30 minutes from the factory. Well, you live 30 minutes from the Gigafactory, but the actual factory where they make the cars is in San Francisco, so a bit further. What is that, like 4 hours maybe? Yeah, so you can choose that. I don't know if you can get away from it. I think you still have to pay it. I'm not quite sure, because there's like destination and dock fees and those kind of things. So yeah, I'm not sure. But when you get your invite, you can talk to him on the phone and ask him then. And yeah, just to clarify, the Gigafactory doesn't make cars; they only make batteries. So yeah, thanks for the question, Steven, and thanks for watching. James Meyer asks, talking to Tesla files, their belief that Tesla will hold down domestic deliveries. Yep. Then high roll at base model purchases. Yeah. So is there a question there? I'm sorry, I didn't see a question, James. RS Tornado, awesome name. Elon reports that he will beat the Tesla semi-specs for the same price. He says he thinks he can beat it. Does this mean he's hinting at a new battery technology upgrade? I think a lot of other people are hinting at that, and I would not be surprised at all. I mean, if you think back to kind of the founding of Tesla, J.B. Straubel, who's the chief technology officer, was basically a battery geek that started making electric cars, and that's how Elon kind of got involved in all of it before they went and kind of bought Tesla from Tarpening and Eberhard. So anyways, I would not be surprised with someone like JB at the helm of their technology division that there's not some battery breakthroughs. The biggest challenge with all these, and why I don't report on them that often, is because there's something that was done in a lab in a specific setting that rarely translates out to a commercially viable solution, right? Let's say we had the answer, right? Solid state batteries. A lot of people talk about those. Fantastic. Where do you get the materials? What manufacturers and who actually brings those? How do you ship those things to the factory where you make them? Can you source them locally? Then how does that change your actual design of the vehicle and the manufacturing of the car itself? How many robots have to be reprogrammed? All those things come into play when we talk about battery breakthroughs. So I think that there's a lot of promising stuff happening and it's exciting, but until we see Tesla say that they're doing it, I would be very skeptical of any rumors I hear in that space. But at the same time, I wouldn't put it past them that they've already done it. Maybe that's what this new delay is in the Model S and X. Who knows? It's exciting times for sure. So stay tuned and hang on to your hat. Martin asked, do you think Trump's recent tweet, trade wars with the EU, will amount to anything? I'm a UK reservation holder, so getting nervous. In the UK, I mean, you guys have good cars, and there's other options coming out there, as I talked about with the Porsche and the Jaguar and those ones. I think it's great. Who knows? If I could predict what Trump would do, I would be in a different business and be much wealthier. So Thanks for the question. I hope it doesn't amount to anything. I hope it's just saber rattling, which is kind of what he's known for, right? He's kind of the big hoax kind of guy, right? Like say he's going to do stuff, but then nothing ever happens. So we'll see. Thanks for the comment and question, Martin. Scott asks, hello, in a tight spot, only make 24K a year. My priorities: one, long range all-wheel drive, full IP, white, not as hot or shows chip scratches, want to wrap the car, yada, 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 yada. Now over 58,000. So, honestly, man, I probably wouldn't, if you're only making 24,000 a year, I would want. I'm questioning why your priority is owning a Tesla. I think that there are, if you want to have an electric car, I think that there are other cheaper ones that you can get right now that fill that kind of value. If you want just like a really awesome, sexy car, there are also other gas powered versions that are probably much cheaper and all that. So. Yeah, in terms of your details here, I mean, I would kind of zoom out a little bit and question why you want a Tesla, anyways. Considering at 24,000, it's going to be a big chunk of your income. So yeah, I would start there, man, and think about that. John asks, this question pertains to your solar setup. Cool. Do you have demand charges on peak? Do you have demand charges on peak periods? If you do have, you had to resort to some kind of load controls to control the electrical demand. Okay, I might not be as familiar with this terminology here, but what we have in San Diego is we have time of use rating. So at certain times of the day, the electricity costs more than it does at other times of the day. And so that's the peak demand, right? The curve, like in the morning, everyone gets up, fires up, their house. They all go to work, it dips down, and they all get home from work, and it kind of fires back up. We have what they call net energy metering here, and it's NEM 2.0, I believe, which basically added a tax onto it. So like if I were selling energy to them and the rate was 30 cents per kilowatt hour, well, now instead of them giving me 30 cents, they're going to give me 28 cents. It was like a 2-cent tax per kilowatt hour or something like that. It seems to work fine, even with 2 electric vehicles and a 16-panel 5 kilowatt system. I haven't had to. I still am like a negative $180 credit with them right now. We do an annual billing here when you switch over. So I'm probably going to do a video on this with many more details. So stay tuned for that. Me and my wife actually a few years ago, this is kind of how this journey all started. We sat down and we said, we're going to have a sustainable homestead. It was kind of the fun way to do it, like a family sustainability plan. Big parts of that were switching our energy over to solar, and then getting electric cars, and then home battery storage was another one, so we could practically be off the grid. And so hopefully we're going to get our home battery, the Powerwall, in March this month. So we'll see. But yeah, lots to come. I really love that idea of just kind of the independence and freedom from the grid. So yeah, stay tuned. Lots more details. Hopefully that answered your question. All right, I'm going to answer Mikhail's question. It looks like Model 3 is on its way to Canada. Yep, I heard about that. Haven't heard of any other countries. I'm sure it's happening. It's on its way. That'll be coming. And let me just try to rebalance this if I can. Dink, dink. Okay. I'm going to answer about 2 more questions here, so go vote if you haven't done so already. Let me see. Many complaints I've seen around the Model 3 refer to the content layout of the display. Given this all software-based, probably all vehicle functions can be software controlled. Does Tesla like to allow some customizations? Sure. Yeah, of course. I'm sure that'll happen. I'm surprised. I've actually never heard anybody complain about that. So I don't know where you're finding many complaints about it. But hey, I guess we peruse different areas of the interwebs. So yeah, I'm sure they will. And thanks for the question, Gary. All right, Bill, since you have your Model 3, how does Tesla handle the paperwork required by a credit union? Okay, so the way it worked was I got what they call an advanced check from my credit union, which is basically like a check up to a certain amount that's certified funds. So it's basically like a cashier's check, but I can write it out because I didn't have the exact purchase order agreement from Tesla until like, I don't know, 3 days before I got it or something like that, or maybe a week before I got it. And so I take that check. And so I paid some cash to Tesla. I submitted that. And then I went there with my advance check. And I gave them the check. I wrote it out with all the correct amounts. And then there were like 2 DMV papers I had to sign, and that was it. It literally is like 4 pieces of paper you have to sign. If you've never bought a Tesla before, it is the best experience ever, because it's how it should be. You do everything over email with your kind of delivery specialist in advance. You get there and it's like, like they roll out the red carpet. They have a specialist that goes through every nook and cranny with the car to answer all your questions. You literally take, I don't know, a minute, 30 seconds to sign all the paperwork, and you're done. Like, it's not even, you don't have to like go, be stuck away with some finance person in the dealer where they're trying to upsell you and all this crap you don't want. None of that. So that's how it worked for me. And after our first Tesla, we knew from our buying experience that we would never, ever go back to a car dealer after that. Because it was just such a night and day experience. So thanks for the question, Bill. Ben, do you have any data on how Tesla's production for Model 3 is going? Yep. Took a look at that earlier. Peter asks, suburbs of Montreal, Canada have received their build call, and it was a 68,000 and he turned it down. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Jim asks, is there any data that shows the Model 3 take versus turn down outright? Man, I would love that. That would be super interesting. Alan asks, on February 22nd, I got the Model 3 invite. Yep, you were one of the first non-owners. I ordered a blue 18-inch wheels autopilot. Woohoo. What's the order of the next steps you took to get your car? Yeah, so you wait for now, and then you'll have somebody contact you, and then you'll kind of go through all the details with them. I would get the insurance quote now if you can, and then eventually they'll give you the VIN number, and you can kind of officially have the policy and all that. So there you go. Hope that helps. Todd asks, any word on the white interior? Not that I've seen. Leo asks, I recently saw a video on YouTube showing the bottom. Yeah, it's super cool, isn't it? Yeah, it looks like, conversion kit? I don't think so. I don't think so. But hey, maybe that'll be an upgrade option. That would be pretty sweet. Thanks, Leo. All right, last question. We actually got to it. Increased specs with the Roadster and Semi. Do you think there's some type of new development in the battery tech? Who knows? I hope so. Thanks for the question, Tony. All right, everyone. I appreciate you guys all coming and joining me here today. Don't forget that later this week I have some other stuff coming out related to the cost of charging your Model 3, so stay tuned for that. Also, if you want to get on our email list and be invited to one of these sessions in the future, you can do so at teslanomics.co/join. And lastly, don't forget, when you free the data, your mind will follow. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next time.